you're in the EU area, welcome to a very tense, exciting, wonderful elimination match between relkin and humbugh, two absolute veterans of a spoiler. This is going to be one heck of a match. Relkin and humbugh, absolutely titans of the community for randomizer, Link to the Past. Teammates for League, actually, to Infinity and Pagog. Tomorrow, they're actually going to be doing their kickoff race for League for co-op all dungeons. But until tomorrow, basically, 24 hours for now, they are going to be bitter enemies and rivals and vying for that bracket spot and going to move on to the next round to face Gem in Spoiler Log SGL. I'm Claire Vos. Joined with me is the one, the only Ghosty Wosty, Shady, the good ghost, not the evil one. Tracking for us is Shasta. How's it going, Shady?
I'm pretty good, thanks. Yeah, I'm definitely not that ghosty wosty that hits you and you're trying to.
we saw it
yeah.
Yeah, we definitely saw a clip from Matt when he was also in Thieves Town. I don't know how he evaded us death, but it was definitely very, very clenching. We are already off, so actually we got a very slight divergence. I'm not sure if humbugh meant to start at Link's house, but maybe that 20 rupees will come in real handy for him.
No, humbugh wants that small key from Zank.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he did. Yeah, because we have 20 rupees. It is very
that's the thing, right?
interesting.
Because we just discussed that there's an item on the bottle merchant, but it's not really very easy money available. So I don't know. I was too lazy to figure out how exactly you're gonna get the money, but you need 100 rupees to get this item.
Well, so here's the thing though. So like I know, so we did actually take a peek at the spoiler. Not everything, but at least we saw some of the cursory items. If we do need bottle merchant money, like we can get a tier 1 tree pull, right?
That's right, but they're not
okay.
doing that. I guess that's a little bit on the slow side. You might do that if you're going to go to Heaven Pass first.
Oh, but you know what? Kudos to both relkin and humbugh rushing the boots. You can never ever go wrong if you're gonna rush the boots.
Technically, they opened 3 chests before.
Okay. You know what? That's true. You're right. There was a whole saving quit in there.
Yeah. Humbugh getting 35 rupees from the black.
Yeah, no, this is really great.
Is still short on money, so I don't know what he's gonna do here. Actually, it's quite interesting.
Okay. I was actually just gonna remark. Ooh, we have a hook shot in Chicken Hut, so those bombs are actually really important. Actually, from Blind Side Out, early resources again, as we've kind of been alluding to, it can be pretty tricky. Yeah, I was gonna say though, I know that there is that painting in Kakariko, like right Snitch's house, that you can actually like pull as a tier pull or tree pull. So if you want to kill an enemy, if you think it's worth it, looks like these guys are not going to. But humbugh, that's definitely pretty required. We definitely need that pearl. But the resourceful Yoshi that humbugh is, he managed to scrounge up to 100 rupees from all of the sofa cracks and like the cushions, and we didn't even need a shovel in order to get all of the 100. So that Link's house 20 rupees, pretty clutch there for humbugh.
Yeah, but it's interesting because relkin's obviously decided to get that later, and maybe he's okay getting that later. I don't know if there's money here in Eastern, but we do need to go into Eastern. And spoiler alert, we will not be completing Eastern on this trip.
Oh yeah, alright, well then.
Kakariko fairly shortly, so I guess we're gonna see what his plan is with the money instead.
Shady, can you just do me a big favor and remind me what your league team was last year? What the name was?
Sorry, I can't remember league.
Oh, okay, you know what? That's perfect. Okay. That is exactly how it should be. Yeah, everyone loves Eastern. This is the best place possible dungeon to be in. Everyone should always dip it if you first find it in Cross Keys, including these guys, because relkin is just a little bit of humbugh. He can show us exactly what we need here. And as you said, this is one of the items that we did look through in the at least in Spoiler Log. Absolutely 100% required. As we're going to see in quite a bit, yeah, which is that flute. Shasta, of course, our awesome tracker, has already pre-marked all of the crystals and pendants for us because there's no way that these guys can do a map check for us because they have the log. We actually do see that Meyer is a crystal, and even if Meyer, I think we're in a crystal, the fact that it's just so easily accessible for the flute and you can get it so early, I mean, just the time savings for that flute and usefulness is just going to pay out dividends.
It's interesting that relkin got the single green rupees, and when you go past the Octoroks there on your way to Eastern, the projectiles count as enemies dying. which is really
Oh, they
funny.
do? Oh,
And that's
really?
that's why
Today
he
I
ends up
learned.
getting the tier 3, because he wants the tier 1 because that's the red rupees. He's gonna have to do that now, I think. Did he kill an enemy though?
If he did, if he
Okay.
didn't, he's got bombs right
Well,
here. This is a
he's
classic. He only needs he has to kill one, right?
yeah, that's right. So, yeah, to be honest,
Okay.
I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure about what he's decided to do here because of that little snag with the with getting the tier 3 instead of the tier 1. It feels like it might actually work out a little bit slower. I think he has the right idea in theory, but in practice, I think Humbugh's route has worked out slightly better at the start in terms of the money.
Yeah, no, I mean, I actually really do like, again, I thought Humbug was being very resourceful, basically just scrounging up everything he possibly can in order to go get that pearl. It does look like, again, like, because they both went to Kakariko, and then they're gonna go, Rogan got the flute as well, so they have to go back to Kakariko to activate the flute, so, like, the immediate money maybe wasn't necessary, but again, like, this actually, yes, as you said, this is worked out quite nicely.
Yeah, and another interesting thing is Relkin's going to come in here to Tyrell Castle, and there's a sword in here in Tyrell Castle, but I don't know if you strictly need to get that sword, and maybe it's more efficient to get it later on.
Ooh,
So
okay,
again, this is interesting. We'll see what Humbug chooses to do, whether he wants to get the sword or not.
Oh, the rupee bush crab is actually dropping bombs as well, and we got a little
And the
extra
20 rupees,
bonus.
yeah.
Right
And
now,
we are
I'm
going to
I'm
need.
actually wondering if we actually need the money. Like, actually, yeah, I was
Well,
actually a
we
bit
need it for pod,
concerned.
yeah. Like pods of crystals, we're going to need at least 85 more.
Oh my gosh, humbug! Where
Oh,
is
the beast
Days?
stats, the beast
Oh
stats.
my
Oh, look at it.
gosh, dude, this is awesome. This is like, I won't say this is peak spoiler, but holy cow, this is exactly like what you kind of expect, right? Using every single, we're MacGyvering our seed, the way through. Oh, it's actually really nice being World Cave as well. Some nice safety, a couple hard pieces. We got the mirror, but yeah, I mean, like this is exactly
Yeah.
what you had to do when you don't have a sword.
I hope it didn't need that 5 rupees still that was sitting there.
Okay, I'm sure
Yeah,
we can scrounge up 5 rupees somewhere else. Yeah, but yeah, this is actually very interesting because yeah, it's quite divergent. As you said, so I was a bit worried that Relkin was going into the front of Escape with only 2 bombs, with no weapon, no viable weapon really. But it looks like actually he just needed to go to the boomerang chest for that sword, so everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's why you grab the key from the sanctuary. The sanctuary chest had the key, and that let him get that far without having to
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
which is quite cool.
Yeah, again,
but yeah, Relkin's getting the moon pearl along with his flute, which I think was the plan all along.
Where it looks like we're gonna actually buy some extra bombs here from the shop, which is also fun. It might come out to be kind of even because Humbug also farmed the bush crab a little bit. Oh, locate those are mirror or not mirror. There's a hammer in in Hera, just sitting there on the basement. It's like one of those things that you can kind of throw down there because you feel like maybe you don't need it for the winter or something, and then we gotta dig it back up.
Yeah, and we have a hookshot and a hammer. What more could you possibly want for this dungeon?
Yeah, imagine what you could possibly want more for Hera.
So we're about to get our first crystal on the board pretty soon.
Yeah, super fast. And yeah, as you said, so the sword is certainly helping Relkin out. Just with the boots, right? You can get a dash a lot nicer. You probably have more stability, just more comfort with your movement. Humbug though seems to be, doing just fine so far though without that sword. And we're gonna see in that because how long he goes without a sword.
The time that you can save from having a sword like that, it can be sneaky. You can not notice it, but it can be quite a lot. If you need to slash enemies away and you don't have that weapon, or you even need to dash through certain enemies.
No, I definitely agree. But yeah, I think it's. I mean, just from observations, I think it's actually something that's kind of hard to quantify because, as you said, right, like a sword really, actually helps you when there's interference, right? Enemies in your way, maybe dead rocks, or maybe like anything that you need to get out of your way, right? We're kind of actually watching, right? Humbug basically, has these kind of to stop his dashes pretty frequently, right? Because of all these things in the way. Relkin may not have to do that, and so.
Yeah, Relkin dashed right through that bush.
That's right. Take that bush. Yeah, but yeah, so with maybe just a very slight delay, but again, like because if that sword, Relkin did make the investment into getting it all the way from Boomerang Chest, which is not light. But I know again, if it's very early, it can still pay out, quite handsomely. Yeah, but I guess like one of the nice things though about having the hook shot is that at least the Death Mountain trip that we can actually see. So typically you would want a sword for like spin speed so you can activate it, but oh man, this is the reason why we rush Swamp Palace in NMG so we can go get that nice hook shot and get some hook speed, so we can actually get the super. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, we
Relkin.
saw some middle
I'm
holes in
so
the spoiler
sorry.
race last time as well. Yeah, it can happen even to like the top. What I guess the top 8 or something.
Yeah, this
6.
is how many people are left. So there's Andy at the very end in the winners bracket, waiting his he's winners bracket winner. There is Gamma who dropped down to the losers bracket. So and then there's Gem, who is going to be their opponent, and then these guys. So 5 people. Is that right?
Top 5, I guess.
Oh my
like
god,
that.
yeah, it is. I mean, these are there are no easy names. Like every single name, it's like I don't know if it got easier or worse because they're all so good, and it's just all seem like so like their skill level is just so high. You know, it's very indistinguishable. I'm really sorry, Relkin. That is very punishing for middle hole. Yeah, it's so okay. So the important part for Relkin, or maybe in general, is that you know, while we do get cams on these guys, we can see their reaction. It is just important to not let something like this affect you. Disasters will happen, especially in spoiler. This is somewhat, you know, again, Moldorm is very, he's very RNG heavy, just like this, you know, and oh my gosh, dude, it's very difficult to control, and so some things like this, you know, will happen. Now, of course, not wishing any ill upon Humbugh or anything like that, but you know, like things could also happen on Humbugh's side. You just gotta play your game.
Yeah, there's quite a few dangerous bosses coming up later on. Particularly Vidi, I think, is going to be quite dangerous in this seed, and it just takes one death to
yeah, exactly, yeah.
All that time. So.
Oh, actually, so here it's actually something that Humbugh, actually Relkin's gonna be able to actually save quite a bit of time on over Humbugh. So Humbugh is walking and hammering down these pegs. Again, if we have a sword, we could just amazingly dash right through these pegs, you know, with a hammer. So Humbugh actually even picking up the lamp as well. That is actually quite an investment because we actually do have the fire rod from Thieves Town. Very interesting.
Early in the seed,
very interesting.
I think with Pod, Eastern, and Meyer all remaining, I think the lamp can still be worth it though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I have every confidence in that Relkin and Humbugh know how to handle dark rooms, but spoiler does add another, you know, several layers actually, you know, of difficulty. 1, you're on low health, right? 2, you're probably on low equipment as well, but also 3, like this is 1v1 race. If you're Humbugh facing Relkin, you do not want to take probably, you know, like the 30 some seconds that you just invested for that lamp is actually probably worth your time, especially with all the dark rooms. And if you make a mistake versus Relkin, he is going to punish you for it.
Yeah, I wonder which of these. I don't actually know which of these guys tends to watch the restream, so I'm not sure if like Humbugh saw the falls, but I probably wouldn't have affected his decision to get that.
Yeah, I would assume as well.
I sort of expected to both get it, but I could be surprised.
Alright, so, okay, so actually, speaking of Pod, Relkin did, I believe, got both green rupees, one from Paradox, one from Pipe Cave. We got our miss, we also have Pod money, that's what I was really going for.
I know. The more I've been looking, I think Humbugh is missing that sword. I think he's possibly regretting not grabbing it.
He does have 4 hearts for what it's worth, so he's not in total okay mode, but and that hookshot's really, you know, really helping out here, but it actually really does look like the number of times that Humbugh has had to basically stop his movement because something has gotten in the way. It doesn't have to be like these moblins or anything like that, right? But it's just, you know, you want even activating the boost does take, you know, it's some time investment, right? And so the fact that you have to basically keep starting and stopping and turning directions and all that stuff, like, it really can be quite painful. Relkin, by the way, we are 2 swords to Humbugh 0.
Oh, right, yeah. 1 in the shed and 1 in the castle, yeah.
Very interesting, actually, because so Humbugh has mitts, right? We got mitts from Hype Cave, and Relkin specifically went to Meyer Shed to go get that sword. Like, and Humbugh's just here, like in Swamp.
Yeah, but you know what they say about Swamp.
Oh, you know, okay, that's probably fair. Although, did you happen to so well? Okay, okay. To context is that this is spoiler log. Specky Clip is officially allowed as of last whatever week or something like that, something like last Friday, maybe a little bit earlier than that. So we are actually allowed to bypass the hammer requirement. One consequence that we have kind of found out about bypassing the hammer requirement: if you come here without a sword, Argus can get kind of terrible. You would really have to put on your creative hats and to try and take out the boss. But I mean, luckily, like sometimes memes, do appear. There is probably a kernel of truth to every single meme there is out there. Humbugh does, and in fact, has found his fighter sword. Not the most pleasant fight. Still, we do in fact, but at least it is a permanent weapon that we can use versus Argus.
Yeah, it's interesting because Humbugh obviously could have gone to the Mire Shed to get the Master Sword, but I guess he's decided that the difference between the Fighter Sword and Master Sword for Argus isn't that big a deal. Whereas if it was an upgrade from Master Sword to Tempered Sword, that would be a big deal. That would save quite a lot more time.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask, like, do you have an opinion on this position? Because I have heard like differing stories. Like, certainly, no sword is better. One sword is better than no swords, and tempered is like the peak, right, of what you want. But then fighter sword versus master sword, is it maybe like player dependent? Maybe how comfortable you are?
It's massively player dependent because it depends if you, for example, you are good at the hook dash strat with the master sword, which like maybe 3 people are good at it, then you definitely want the master sword.
Okay.
If you're just doing the spin strats here, like Humbugh is doing, the master sword's a little bit better, but it's not a huge amount better.
Okay.
So it depends hugely on the strats that you're good at. There is a world where some people, it's absolutely worth it for them to go with the master sword. For most people, it's probably not huge. Also, if you had silvers and you were good at the quick swap strat, then you probably don't care about your sword.
Oh, that's actually really good.
You would care about tempered, but you would like you wouldn't care about fighter or master or even sword. You would just use the arrows,
Yeah, just make sure to. Yeah, just make sure if you're using silvers to not use the mirror. The mirror is a really great item, not in this scenario. We're just gonna we're gonna take two tries in order to go get Argus. Humbugh, you can see, quite relieved to be finished with that fight. As you actually, like you mentioned before, right? We've got a lot of pretty dangerous boss fights coming up. Vitreous is one of them, right? Depending, maybe Pod, depending on what else we have. Argus, 100%, very dangerous depending on your equipment. Humbugh's loadout was definitely pretty aggressive.
But that was one-hit KO, and doing the fire rod strats there while you're one-hit KO is very risky. If you fluff the shot and he comes up or even you hit him once and he jumps up into the air, but he's directly below you, he will hit you and kill you. So if he had a better sword, I'm pretty sure he would play it safe and just do some spins. But he was aggressive there and went for the fire rod shots because it was going to save him quite a lot of time. But that was actually very scary and very risky. No wonder he did wiped his brow there.
Yeah. But I mean, like high risk has a very high reward. We've got to save some time, and we got to live, which is yeah. And I will say that Relkin's route has kind of taken him. It's certainly less aggressive in terms of what Humbugh's doing, because Humbugh, for example, is just now picking up the blue mail. He is now going to just go pick up the master sword, but Relkin's going to come in here a lot less risky. I mean, he still is on 4 hearts, but he's on 4 hearts blue mail, and he has tempered sword, right? Like, as you said, right? If you can go get tempered sword, maybe that actually initial sword was very much worth it, right? Yeah. Because now he's gonna have a much faster Argus fight.
I have to say, I don't like what Humbugh is doing here, because Humbugh, the whole idea of delaying this sword in Hyrule Castle is so that you can combine it with other things later on, namely Biraga. Right,
Relkin. It's fine. We're just gonna pretend that Specky Clip was not actually, it's posthumously allowed now. It's okay. Again.
Yeah, he definitely knew it was allowed, because he was the first to DM me after like it was allowed to say that hey dude, your race is going to be the first one. and the shout outs to that race where it was like Swamp was just appended anyway, none of us went into Swamp. So totally important. That was me against Jesse earlier on.
Oh yeah, I mean, but it's all fine. Like I'm sure we maybe even scratch up a couple seconds, but yes, Relkin did realize his realize his oversight.
Oh, and I made a mistake, by the way. Humbugh is
Hmm?
combining this sword with climbing the tower here, so
Okay.
because I forgot he's getting the sword in here. So yes, that is the plan. That he delayed the castle until he's going to do castle tower as
Okay,
well.
yeah, okay. So it looks like then the initial difference, though, in terms of investment is that, so Relkin's gonna have to double dip the castle area, so basically there's like one more extra trip in, but
Yeah.
he does get the sword, and specifically he gets Tempered Sword for Argus and basically the rest of the bosses.
Yeah, well, remember he had to double dip the Mire area as well.
Oh, true. Oh, that's true. He
Not
actually
that
did get
that's
that.
a huge double dip, but it's a bit of time.
Mm-hmm. But I can certainly imagine that Relkin, very accomplished 124 NMG runner, absolutely showing for his 0-cycle Argus. Like, very, very well done. Such a clean fight on boss fight. Definitely, gain a good amount of time over Humbug for that fight.
Yeah, quite a lot actually. That could be one of the Waldron falls. Just with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, and so Tempered Sword and Boots is probably where, in this case, like, Relkin and Humbug, feel the most comfortable. So I've also seen their Master Sword execution. Relkin and Humbug are absolutely, I mean, you don't want to mess with them basically any set of equipment, but, this Tempered Sword is really where these guys shine, and, you can actually really just see, Relkin's just going to just blaze through all of the bosses at this point.
Yeah, I wonder where Relkin is going now. Is
this... Well, it can't be Pod, right? Maybe the Zaga?
Maybe there's something.
We have the mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't looked at the pyramid.
I'm assuming maybe he. Well, no, it would have to be the pyramid, right? Because otherwise you would just run here from the light world. Or maybe this still will be faster if you can mirror up top. Okay, that's fine. Oh humbug! Oh humbug! It's okay. You can redeem yourself with the screen.
Oh, look at that!
Oh,
beautiful,
that's so
beautiful.
Okay, so
look at that smug.
I know,
right? Smug, but there must be some good work fun there.
You look at the
smug.
distance.
There we go.
Yeah, very well deserved, Oh yeah.
Hey, if I could get that high, I would be smug as anything.
Yeah. It's actually one of the best parts of SGL, like either online or in person. I don't think if Humbugh actually attended one of these in person. Relkin, of course, was the winner of SGL Live last year. Really amazing actually to be able to see these guys like either in person or their reactions. This is one of the best parts, right? And I believe actually, the Humbug, despite how stoic he looks, 99% of the time, right? He does have his moments like this, this one, right? We got a Humbug smug. I think your name was better. When we got a sense of accomplishment, I think actually in a previous restream there was like a automatic, preview cam image, where Humbug is captured, and I believe the caption was, "If looks could kill," like it is. Humbug can be quite expressive.
Alright, so Aga is defeated. Now we have access to the Dark World. Oh wait, what did we beat Aga for?
Oh my gosh, dude! Like we were right here.
What a mistake!
Oh, okay. So Relkin actually gave up a. Actually, you know what? This is a good question. So they both have the. Oh no, Humbug does not have the cape. Never mind. The cape was where? Because that's what Relkin has.
Oh, the cape was in Mire Shadow, I think, wasn't it? Or
okay.
Somewhere near the Fire Rod, Thieves Town. It was in Thieves Town.
Oh, okay. Alright, so very interesting actually then that we have actually different safeties.
Well, Relkin could... I guess there's no reason for him to get Berna if he has the cape, yeah.
Yeah, in fact, he ran from like South Dark World, right, to the Pyramid, right, in the mirror to go to Castle Tower, and like he could have gotten Berna right there and then, and chose not to. So
let's see, the ambush chest at the Fire Rod, and then the compass chest at the cape. Yeah, it's a bit of work to get to that cape.
That's the third one. Okay.
And,
yeah.
The Berna is kind of a bit closer, but yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, you kind of want either, I think, and I think this is a pickup with the Vitreous in mind.
Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, so the bow, yes, we did see that on Lumberjack. Keep in mind that they do. know where the other bow is. The fact that they have to go through this amount of effort to go get that one bow is pretty telling for how terrible the other bow is, or not accessible. But so one thing though that the bow does need, as I'm watching, Humbugh's quiver count, is that we do need a couple of arrows. Not a lot, which we potentially can get, right here in Desert and Mire, but it is
Desert.
something.
There's plenty. There's loads of arrows. There's only 5. There's only 1 5-pot in Mire, but there's tons of arrows in Desert. He's gonna stock up here.
But Shady.
And then he's totally going to
we
waste
need the arrows.
Ammo. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes. That fire rod doesn't exist, Humbug.
He's not going to do a tempered spin or any fire rod shots.
No,
Yeah,
of course
totally
not. Of course not. He can. I'm sure he's not listening. Oh, but actually, so speaking of though, if the Humbug actually, I don't know how recently he changed his icon, but his new race time avatar is in fact a location in Desert. Maybe it looks like we're not actually gonna go get that chest, the middle of Vicky chest today, but I was actually hoping for a chest turn, and yes, it's not gonna happen.
I'm gonna skip some arrows in that room. I'm kind of surprised actually.
Oh, are there arrows in the map chest?
No, there's 2 pots in that room with 5 arrows just below the map chest.
Interesting. Okay. So there is a 5 arrow pot here right before the boss. Maybe that's
enough. Yeah. Maybe that's enough for him. We haven't even looked at the prize packs either. Which? Hang on, because now we know what the prize packs are.
Oh yeah, that's
and
true.
I can tell you that
we can.
the arrow pack is vanilla.
Oh, dude.
Which doesn't really help us here.
Yeah.
Certainly not
but
you know,
right? But you know.
Yeah, at least we know.
All right, so this is Relkin's bow. So just a little bit delayed compared to Humbug, because right now Humbug because we're already basically on our way to Desert or finishing up Desert. Equipment-wise, fairly even. But again, it looks like Relkin is actually maybe not fluting as much as Humbug potentially is. Basically, just took one long route over here, and we're gonna. We actually do we actually need anything else for go mode at this point?
That's a good question. We probably don't, actually. Humbug has Quake, so Relkin can get that when he goes to Mire. I think the dungeon order is whatever you want to do now.
Yeah, that certainly looks like it. Right, we got our bow, from Lumberjack, and yeah. Other than that, I think we're probably good to go.
Yeah, and they're going to make sure they do the dungeons in totally different orders, just so we don't know.
Oh yes, that was one thing I was also thinking of. Yeah, but actually, I'm actually kind of looking at their health. This is actually probably, man, I won't say typical of spoiler, but but 4 hearts is probably not out of the ordinary, for better or for worse. They do have blue mail again. That's at least a very very strong safety, but still, especially when you're facing down Mothula, when you have spikes, and the armor is not going to help you out as much. It still can just be the raw amount of health. Mire is going to be another
4
one.
4 hits instead of 2 in Moth. I think that's a decent jump, to be honest. I think both runners will be fairly confident in Moth, and with the blue mail, that means you are not 1-hit KO in Mire Basement if you have your 4 hearts.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So I think they're reasonably confident here with this health.
Yeah, talk about a confident fight though. Relkin, 9 out of 10. Beautiful. Relkin with Tempered Sword is quite the force to be reckoned with. Right, he had a 0 cycle Argus so far. 9 out of 10 Mothula fight. I certainly expect him to perform quite well. Now, of course, given that we still are on 4 hearts, so this textbook NMG Tempered Sword fight might be a little dicey. They do have so Relkin's got the cape, Humbug's got the Burna, and a handful of arrows. I'm maybe there's something nicer here in Mire, but I would be a little bit more concerned for Humbug.
No. So with Burna, you just equip Burna and do the side-to-side dashes, and you'll get all the eyes killed that way without too much trouble. Comfortably within a magic bar. With the cape, I think it's better, because the cape drains a bit faster, to do the spins with the cape. You could even, if you're really brave, do the first 2 spins and use up 3 of your 4 hearts, and then put the cape on. because if you equip the cape, right, the cape animation delays about half a second, and that's throws off the fight a little bit. You know, it goes off sync, and that gives more time for an eye to come out and smack you in the face, which you don't want. So that's why, if you're brave, it's better to do the NMG strat and get the spins in first, and then put the cape on once you're down to 1 heart. But you might die. That's the downside. So yeah, it's interesting. They both have safety items. They're both going to do different, I think, strats with those safety items in video.
Yeah. You always get me a little bit nervous, but when you say, you know, you could it just takes off 3 out of your 4 hearts, and I'm just like, well, no, I don't really want to, you know, like Humbugh only has 3 hearts right now to begin with.
Mouse, what do you have a 4th heart for if you're not?
You're right. Yeah.
Fight? What's the point? You might as well just stay on 3 hearts.
Yeah, you're right. What was Humbugh even thinking, picking up that extra heart container mini Moldorm? How dare he, you know, take the extra 5 seconds in that room? Ooh, okay, so speaking of though, also we've got a heart potion from Mini Moldorm. I can't actually remember what heart container it was, but yeah, definitely very good use of that potion. We actually do see that Berta is lacking quite a bit. Humbugh, does I not want to come out? What? Dude, those are precious arrows that we cannot be affording to use here.
It's a good thing he picked up the arrows in the main lobby then, because I don't like picking up those arrows because it messes up, and he obviously took a bit of damage from the spark because because grabbing the arrows makes the room slower. So it's a good thing he did though, because he put a bunch of them on the wall.
Yeah, nobody really expects. You know, it is a Saturday, but Vitreous is not allowed to be lazy. Only, you know, the people who've been hardworking for, you know, 5 days out of the week are allowed to take a break. Vitreous is, you know, well, he's unfortunately he's a minion of Ganon, and Ganon, I heard, doesn't really have a lot of, you know, like workers' rights or, you know, benefits like that. So that's, you know, he got rightly punished.
Poor Vitreous, from the sounds of it, you're describing how
well, you know, I mean,
now you're like, oh yeah, he deserves to have no breaks.
I mean, you know, I don't know if he actually willingly signed up for anything like that, but you know, being a minion of Ganon, like for better for worse, like you know what you're getting yourself into. So if you know if it's self-inflicted, you know, it's there's not much recourse. Maybe everyone just rooting for, you know, for the hero of Hyrule, right, to actually take down Ganon every single time, right, so they can actually get their own freedom by, you know, taking a nap or something Saturday afternoon.
I wonder which poor innocent light world creature got turned into Vitreous when they went to the dark world and then just got killed by Link.
That's a great question.
The quote-unquote hero.
Yeah. I never actually thought about it that way. Okay, so Humbugh, for better for worse, he is down 1 heart going into Mothula on 3. However, like the benefit though is that he will not have sword beams unless he finds a heart. In which case, I'm sorry, that the sword beams are not exactly what you want. You would much rather have the temper sword damage. But yeah, I mean, but you know, we also seen from, you know, Humbugh's performance that he's very, very capable of doing low percent stuff.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that 4th heart. You definitely don't want beams.
Yeah, actually, yeah, who was he facing? Oh, I think it was maybe Gem in the winner's bracket. But yeah, one of the things that really actually messed him up a lot in the gauntlet was that he had a heart drop or something like that, and he took too much damage. He like couldn't land anything basically from, you know, his hits. All because basically the sword beams. Oh no, Humbugh! Oh no.
Oh,
Everything's
so unfortunate.
So yeah, this is so remember in this case in the early game that relkin unfortunately took 2 middle falls to Moldorm. You know, things have suddenly maybe evened up a bit. You know,
yeah,
all things considered.
It's probably about the same as the 2 Moldorm falls, but I think relkin might have been gaining time because of having the extra sword and things like that in various places, maybe slightly better arrow management. So it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah,
and the fact that of course they've taken very different routes basically throughout the rest of the game, right? Like it's harder in this case to kind of gauge what the like, you know, like where they are kind of relatively speaking. So, but at least look from the tracker though, because okay, so Humbugh has Pod in Eastern, and of course finishing up Skull Woods, and relkin has Pod Eastern, and he's finishing up Myers. So actually things are looking, you know, pretty close, honestly.
We're about to sync up, yeah.
Alright, nice revenge fight there on Humbugh's side. Oh, actually it looks like relkin is actually just gonna slash. his way through Vitreous.
Yeah, that's a good strat too, to be honest. It's even safer.
Even with the cape? Well, good thing we have blue
Perfectly
mail.
safe.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, because when you slash, you know, the cape doesn't deplete magic.
Oh,
So
true.
if you're
yeah.
worried about the magic running out, which I guess you would be if you were down a few shots because you've done spooky and all that, then the standard slash is probably the most pragmatic strat.
Well.
I didn't mention it earlier, but now that I think about it, I think Relkin is smarter than me. So.
Well, I mean, Relkin made it very, very far last year. In Spoiler Log SGL 2022. We are picking up. What did we pick? What did we
Money
pick up
for
here?
pod, I think.
Oh my gosh, humbug! Holy frick! Like.
And I actually think this is swinging the lead for Relkin.
Oh my gosh, dude, this is amazing. I didn't even realize the humbug was losing money, but suddenly, because we had to take a quick, you know, detour to the well, Relkin has actually, has swung over the lead. Thanks to, by the way, real, like, heads up play on humbug's side to actually remember that he, you know, where am I gonna get 25 rupees? Right, the well. We've got all of the pots, and we've got the chest. Like, amazing, actually. But just with that, though, suddenly now Relkin actually has a very, very slim, I don't know, like 5 to 10 seconds, basically, at this point?
Yeah, something like that. And I haven't... Let's see what's going on in Pod, because Pod is probably the one dungeon that is hardest to root in Spoiler Log. And a lot of time can be gained and lost by doing it incorrectly. So what's going on here? Like, for example, Relkin looks like he's skipping the shooter room key.
Okay. I mean, like, did you get a chance to peek where the big key is? That would, I mean, that's...
Yeah, the big key's in Harmless Hellway. So, if you hadn't looked it up in advance, you would just get the shooter room key automatically. And then work it out as you're grabbing that key. So the fact that they're both skipping the shooter room key suggests to me that they've both worked it out in advance, that this is the best route.
Okay. Sounds good. I mean, you know, these guys, for a while, we do have 15 minutes of study period. It may not sound like a lot. In fact, it isn't a lot of time. But I think given how much these guys have spoilered before, you know, again, it's just something that else that, you know, with anything else just takes more practice. They're probably, you know, kind of accustomed to try and figure out, you know, what they're supposed to do, including, you know, probably a little bit of preliminary dungeon routing.
Yeah, and I've looked it up. This is the best route, actually, what they're doing. They're going to grab this key in the compass chest right here, and then they're going to go through Harmless and then hop down after getting the big key and go straight to the boss then. Quite clever, actually. It's quite good routing from both of them. Nice.
Alright, humbug. Alright, take 2. We are going to make our way back here into the backup pod. Yeah, but just little things like this, little things are going to continue to basically swing the lead back and forth from Relkin to Humbug. Relkin definitely seems to be a bit calmer after his initial Moldorm Falls, and he's been playing extremely solidly. Humbug, you know, maybe it might be a little bit, you know, still like nerves need to calm down a little bit after Mothula, but still playing still very well. But, you know, again, we are basically at the end game stage, right? They've got Pod and Eastern to finish up, and then they have GT, and this is actually exactly what we want to see out of these guys. 2 top-level execution runners, you know, basically battling it out for, you know, like, the victory, you know, just based on their own skill. No, you know, where is this item? Where is that item? Did I spend 15 minutes extra to compare to my opponent type of thing?
Yeah, that's the best thing about this mode. It's just like, it's pretty much like guaranteed that whoever deserves the win will win. Whoever plays the best in any particular race is almost certainly going to win. The only time, like, there's very small amounts of luck that can really affect the race, and it can happen, but it's way less than the regular rando.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you also did mention before, like, you know, sometimes you can maybe try and get some lucky arrow drops, right, from the enemies, especially when we were in Mire trying to maybe farm a little bit of extra ammunition. You know, like, they are prize packs, so it's always 50-50, so you could, in theory, you know, one person get very unlucky because you lose every coin flip, and then one person get pretty lucky and get, you know, all of the drops or something like that.
Well,
you know, that's
prize packs are seeded, actually. So
even outside, really?
Yeah, because they made that change for standard, didn't they? So that people wouldn't get lucky
right, so
farming a bomb.
Right, I thought that was only during the escape sequence. Everything else I thought was not. I guess we can double check
You
that.
might be right. I'm not sure. I assume that the price pack, the drop RNG, is seeded for both of them. Although obviously you get way off what you know, saving quits might affect it. So it might be in practice random later on in the seed.
Oh, seed the whole seed. All right. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Phase. Yeah, they're good to know.
Oh, here we go. Eastern is finally dippable.
Yeah. We only had to go kill Aga, you know, for that one bow.
Yeah, I was trying to find a way
Eastern.
Eastern in this seed.
Yeah.
And it almost was possible. You just have to beat Aga a bit earlier, because then you can go to the Dark World and get your glove that way and get to the mountain. Because the flute was the only way to the mountain in the early seed. But you just don't quite have enough stuff to get into Aga, because 3 swords in the cape are in the Dark World, so it was very sad.
Yeah, but I think even if you could potentially even delay the flute, it's just like, yeah, if the ways up the mountain are, you know, you go get the flute and then you activate it and then you flute up there versus you go rescue the old man, like maybe depending on what the price is on the old man, like that flute initial investment, even if it's out of the way, actually might be worth it, just because rescuing the old man, like if you don't need the prize, it's a pretty long journey. You know, it doesn't. You can get 10 pairs of boots, and you cannot, you know, rush him any faster than basically the slowest possible movement speed that there is in this game. So.
Yeah, they will be getting silvers in this seed. There was a question in chat. Silvers are free in Ganon's Tower. It's just in Ganon's Tower, so they have to get that bow from the lumberjack.
Alright, nice arrow drop for relkin. Not necessarily quite, you know, strictly necessary, but it's always nice to be able to come in with a full quiver, especially without silvers, so... but yeah, I think humbugh might be muscle memorying a bit, you know, in Eastern Palace, but not too far behind. Again, this is going to be a battle of execution throughout. They are, you know, playing certainly to the best of their ability, and it's not like, you know, a GT has ever swung the lead between people before.
Yeah, although relkin's playing pretty well at the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
He's not really given much time back, so it's gonna take some mistakes in Ganon's Tower, and he doesn't look like he's making any at the moment.
Oh, is humbugh gonna get the pinkest?
Actually, yeah, he's still got the quick kill though.
Nice. Yeah, no, that was actually very nice recovery there on humbugh's side. So I don't think relkin actually did that. So maybe humbugh saved a tiny bit of time. But yeah, again, like as you did mention, relkin basically, especially mid to late game, has been playing exceptionally well. And humbugh, you know, he's extremely solid, but just, you know, little hiccups, like even going the slightly wrong direction. Oh, I don't need actually the Eastern Palace big chest. Kind of muscle memory there. I mean, at this point, especially when you get up against a formidable opponent, it's going to be time that you are not going to be willing to, you know.
Just okay.
We got there.
Big dead rock block.
Oh, we got there. Ooh, relkin. So that tells me that relkin is, at least he's taking a peek as to where he is in the race, and if he can get that extra safety, we're actually up to 6 hearts now on his side. He's definitely a lot safer going into the gauntlet.
It's a pretty quick safety though, and going up Super Bunny's only a teeny bit slower, if even slower, going up the Dark World. So to be honest, that heart might just always be worth.
Okay.
Just so you don't have to slow down and use a potion or do anything in Ganon's Tower. If you don't have to play, if you get a low on health and you don't have to play a room safe because you have that extra heart, the extra heart's worth it.
Oh, that's actually true. And actually, speaking of though, I think relkin actually still has his blue potion, right, for Mini Moldorm. Humbugh, that is something that he had used up in a previous boss fight. So I believe we are out of safeties on his side.
Yeah, wasn't there another potion somewhere that was free?
Oh, I guess humbugh does have 2 bottles. At least that's what Shasta is marked down on the tracker. I thought he was out of. Oh no, the other one was a B, right? Because humbugh used that in Mini Moldorm the first time. Did relkin just open the middle door? That's awesome.
Yeah, I love when seeds. I love seeds when that's the best strat.
Oh, that's awesome. Only in spoiler, dude. Like, really nice routing. I wholeheartedly approve.
Yeah, there was a bottle of blue potion in the bridge chest in Pod, which is kind of funny because that's normally totally free. But this one pod layout, you just didn't go to that chest. This is one of the very rare pod layouts where you don't even go past that chest. So they couldn't get it. Which is quite hilarious.
Alright, so this is actually going to be kind of interesting, because so Relkin's climbing without a small key, which, you know, I'm sure at this point that just means that there's a small key upstairs somewhere. Humbugh not opening the middle door, but choosing to go two separate ways, so now he doesn't actually have to go and get like another key upstairs. So could be kind of interesting. Yeah, Humbugh is not taking any chances. We're just gonna burn our way through this.
Yeah, I don't think you should do that. I think if you're gonna want to save health, then just do the one-hit KO strat in that room, because maybe it'll change when we have the fast run. But Burno is quite slow there, and even if I don't know, I'm just not personally a believer in that strat. There's other ways you can not take damage in that room that I think.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, so right, I guess like the fastest strat is like the 3 heart damage version, and then I've seen, you know, people do like the 1 heart damage version, and it's a little bit slower, but it's definitely, you know, as you said, a lot safer, and maybe 1 heart is worth taking, you know, at the cost of time. But yeah, Burn especially, in, I guess, like the Turnimber branch, you can definitely see the impact of lag there, trying to slow everything down.
Yeah, there is a 0 heart strat as well, which is only a bit slower again, but you do want to lose beams. Although again, that's a thing with the slow runs. Maybe with fast runs, it's going to change some of these metas a little bit.
That's true.
Well, yeah, actually, it's not just lag. Look at even the Gauntlet. I think you just don't want to lose.
Yeah, Abir, the cape was in Thieves Down Compass Chest. So Relkin took the time. So we did have to go in, I think, for the fire rod for the first chest, like the map chest, I want to say, and then. Oh, ambush. Okay, so the second one already. So yeah, so he went one more chest over to go get the cape.
And then Burner was on the pyramid ledge, which you can just grab after Aga, which was
a
little bit quicker, I think.
All right, but I mean, we're basically nearing, you know, to the end of the gauntlet. So Humbugh again, like had to suffer sword beams a little bit. You know, definitely brought back some unfortunate memories. But Relkin has definitely done quite well. Just getting a little hiccup right now. Oh, we even got a free heart container mini helmet left.
I know,
we are so safe.
What a free seed.
Oh,
what an easy seed.
Oh yeah, what an easy seed. 4 heart, you know, 4 heart fighter sword Vitreous on Humbugh's side. You know, like no big deal.
All right, time for Relkin's revenge.
Yep, there's no middle hole to fall, just all the other holes on the sides. All right, well done, Relkin. You see that? That's so awesome. Humbugh also conquering his Torches 2 room. I wonder, actually, do you know where Powder is, Shady, out of curiosity? Just curious.
Let me have a look. I didn't see it. Yeah, it's in GT. It's deeper left side though.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, it's always just a curiosity, because you know one of the things that you really like, or to have right before, in this case, facing Moldorm, is you get a free health refill. You get the powder, but certainly in spoiler, the powder is not something that you would probably go out of your way for, unless you think it is very, very necessary, especially for these guys.
Yeah, I think it's probably most benefit just before Vitreous if you don't have any safeties.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you get a nice full health refill.
At the top of GT, it's mostly for the Ganon fight.
Yeah.
So you can take a hit Ganon.
Ooh, nice triple on Humbugh's side.
Yeah, so it's close enough. Yeah, this was close enough that Relkin probably can't afford to die late into the Ganon fight.
Oh no. Yeah, you can see Humbugh's look of disbelief, basically, for the last hit, basically not being able to land. Just couldn't get the swing out in time. But yeah, so he's going to be a little bit slower. Yeah, and Relkin is already, he's got the cape out. He has pretty much almost full health going into this Ganon fight. He is definitely just taking, I think he also realizes that he is probably, I would say, like a minute or so ahead of Humbugh at this point. So he doesn't want to probably take any chances.
Yeah, that's very smart, pragmatic play by Relkin, I have to say.
Yeah, and of course we've got silvers, you know, moving forward for everything. So, you know, magic is not going to be too much of pressure. in this case, or too much consideration. We just gotta make sure. I don't even know if Relkin cares about torch glitch. Honestly, we just need to have the torches be lit. Does that count as a double? I'm not sure. No, not quite.
Ooh, the only thing you gotta do is be careful you don't stand under Ganon with there.
Yeah, yeah.
I almost thought he did. Well done to relkin. Get your GGs in.
Yeah, huge sigh of relief. Yeah, definitely get your GGs out in chat for Relkin taking the victory over his fellow league teammate Humbugh. The record swing goes for, in this case, Relkin. Big sigh of relief on his part. Very well done on the seed. Relkin was very pragmatic, I think, with himself in order to try and get the swords early. Probably felt the most comfortable with Tempered Sword, and it definitely showed in his execution. Humbugh very, very closely behind. And I do think there were definitely parts of Humbugh's run that was, and the routing was actually very, very resourceful. Did quite well. I think it was just like the Mocula death that really, kind of set things off, at the very end, which was pretty punishing. But get your G's out in chat for Humbugh. He played the seed very, very well.
Yeah, GG's to both runners. That was a fun race to.
It was,
call.
Yeah.
That was quite good. Both of them had their chances, and both of them let some time go, and some very good play on both sides. So yeah, GG's to both.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, speaking of, okay, we are joined here by Humbugh. GG's Humbugh.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about Mothula. That looked so rough. Like when you were fighting him, like he just looked like he refused to move, like into where you want him to.
So there are okay. I'm gonna be quiet. GG Relkin.
Yo,
Hey.
we are also joined by Relkin. GG's.
Yo,
Yeah. Okay. So Moth. I got a bad conveyor pattern. Like I was like all of it just felt wrong. There was nothing good with the start of that fight, but my head was not in the fight when I was in it. I was still so confused as to how am I gonna get into pod? Where's the money? That was me for 20 minutes, and that spilled over on my execution in the mod fight. And that's why I died. It's because I couldn't keep the two things apart, basically.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean,
that makes total sense. Yeah, like something I totally identify with. It's just hard to root on the fly when you're constantly doing things, and that's when you have fights and everything, you're just constantly on the go and you don't have any time, so things slip. Yeah, absolutely makes sense too.
And with pod having nothing, I just put off the thought of, okay, I will get money eventually. There will be money somewhere. There was no money. The money weren't close at any point. At least not that I could see. At least okay. So I googled triples after Aga 1. I got
advanced search search techniques.
Right. I got some arborists sites. They did not help. Because I don't know where the triples are after Aga 1. I know where the bonk trees are after Aga 1. Thanks, Mike. But I don't know where the triples are. So yeah, that's
yeah, there's a holy image somewhere, but I don't know.
But how do I get a hold of them?
The ones are all the same. They don't change between like Aga kill and not Aga kill.
Oh, I should have pulled a statue at the pyramid.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one right after Aga.
Oh my god, that's so. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Oh, why do we call it triple if it's a statue?
Because you've never made it through Aga 1 in energy without taking a hit, and you needed money and needed to pull that statue.
That's a good point.
Jeez, why are you so good, Humbugh? I can't believe you've never encountered this one scenario.
It's so niche, but like, yeah,
I know, right? Yeah. I guess you could go up Death Mountain and pull the turtle's right foot, but that wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, so that's mostly the story for me. I felt like I routed the seed well, but yeah, moth death doesn't really help.
Were you watching the? Yeah, I was gonna ask. Like, were you watching the Relkin stream at all? Because,
No.
or specifically, okay, the early game, because Relkin did have his own set of adventures with not Mothula, but with Moldorm. So it's another end boss.
Yeah, that was. I was so tilted so early into this race. I was like, oh wow, I'm just gonna lose. I've already lost the race right now. Man, my race is over. Like, yeah, I got middle hold twice on Moldorm.
Twice?
Yes.
Oh god, yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm so sorry about your moth death. Like, it goes both ways, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's
But yeah, back to the money stuff. I just like I think I got a couple like Moldorm kills that dropped a few money a little bit of money along the way. Like, I mean, Moldorm Cave, they dropped some money. But I also just looked for any money that was in like groups of checks, like Hype Cave, the well, Mini Moldorm Cave. I also got the Bonk Rocks 50 on the way to activating Flute. So I was just like, I was nickel and diming my way to get enough money for the whole seed.
The Bonk Rocks 50 would have been enough for me. I tried to kill some enemies from the small pack because they were, well, the money pack was vanilla. So I tried to get some of those, but they never dropped anything aside from the murder dactyl outside of Mire. But that rupee disappeared in the cutscene, so I couldn't get it. That hurt so much. It was right there, but I couldn't get it.
Oh, you weren't tempted by Maya Rupee Room then?
Man, that would be amazing.
You would have needed a small key for it. That would be kind of an issue.
Not the one north of Spooky 2.
No, not that one. The one, or is that what?
But I mean, I could have gotten that, but yeah, no, I wasn't tempted.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, you could get that one.
Yeah. But yes, the money was so tough, and the Argus on no health fighter sword is also hard. That was scary.
You fought him on fighter with. I fought him with tempered.
Well, I wanted the sword to go to Aga. I guess you got the cape in Thieves' Town instead.
I got the cape and tempered.
Ah, well, yes, of course. I needed a sword to do Aga. I needed a sword or a cape to do Aga, and I figured, screw cape. I'm just gonna get the sword in Swamp. It's gonna be fine. Oh no.
So did you get the castle sword early?
Yes. Well, not early. After Swamp, I got it when I did Aga.
No, I got that sword like very early, and then I got the Mire Shed sword, and I got tempered in Swamp to make my life a lot easier.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, all right. I got the tempered in Mire, but I didn't want to. I wanted to be able to do Aga 1 when I got the first sword, and I needed another sword or a cape for it. And I didn't want to have to run all the way to Compass Chest in Thieves' Town to get the cape, so I figured, why not just get the sword in Swamp, which I'm gonna get anyway. That was my line of thought, anyway.
Nah, man, I gotta dash around with a sword in my hand. I wanted that sword.
Lucky.
Well, I think hammer pegs alone probably made up a lot of the time.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it did.
Oh right, yeah, I had to walk that.
Yeah, I originally thought it was clever to delay both of the swords until you were in the area, but I think the more I was watching the compromises you had to make in various places, I think just grabbing the swords earlier was better.
And honestly, Argus was probably the largest time sink for that, really.
Yeah, I also didn't know if you thought like just go to Mire Shed would also be worth it, like a double dip to upgrade yourself from Fighter Sword to Master Sword. Like we were kind of chatting about that too, but
I thought about that. I thought about it. I really did. But then I couldn't tease you with a bow landmark, so.
Yeah, with your like 5 arrows going into the fight, that was it was a real shocker. You had to pull out the fire rod.
It was a good fight though.
It was, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
And in fact, execution-wise, I mean, so after like the you were very, very resourceful. You know, like you scrounged up 100 rupees, like in Kakariko somehow, somewhere. Got your pearl early. You know, you were on certainly, you know, some questionable equipment, you know, before tempered going to some boss fights. Other than that, though, like, you know, once you got tempered, the execution was, you know, was quite strong. Relkin, probably after the Moldorm, you know, falls, he, you know, Envy got his tempered. You could definitely tell that the comfort level, like, you just kind of tore up the rest of the scene. And like, you guys were pretty much synced right after Meyer. And then Relkin got the very slight lead because he went to the well to go get your pod money. And then probably after that, Relkin did not give you any inch, centimeter, millimeter, whatever were metric systems do. You know, and basically in terms of execution, like he just ran through the seat. And even when, you know, it's like the 1 second you're like, oh no, I don't need Eastern Palace big chest, right? Like, everything just, like, you know, adds up at that point, right?
And like after that, like after the Moth and after Vidi, for this seed there wasn't that much game left. It's not like we had to do a lot in GT Basement. It's not like we had to go deep into Turtle Rock. There wasn't really. I didn't have much room anyway, so I knew when I died to Moth that it was game over for me. But you know.
You were quite close. Svinik also reminding us that apparently you fired like 7 arrows before actually one landed on the big eye for Vitreous. I don't know why he didn't move. That's hilarious.
Okay. What was that? I have never had Vidi like make his fake movement 7 times before he emerged from the goo.
I guess it was something to do with like using Burna. You were just particularly quick with the Burna kill.
Yeah, it must have been that I killed an eyeball like right after he submerged his first time or whatever, and then it just felt off because he never emerged again until like 10 seconds later. What was that? I got so confused.
Humbugh, I do want to point out though, even after the Moth death, when you were back in for the kill, you were still ahead in the race at that point. But then when you went to the well to get the rupees for Pod, that gave Relkin like a 10-second lead or something. Like, it was still very close then. It was the race was still completely on then, but it was a momentum swing more than anything, I guess.
Got it. Yeah, like apart from the Moth fight, I felt like I played well.
Oh, for sure. You guys both did. Shady even. You know, what was the name of the emote that you gave Humbugh? Forgot what it was.
Humsmug.
Humsmug. Yeah. When you got the Aga Hall of Fame picture. Oh my God! So your facial expression was so good.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
I also liked Relkin's little clip after the Moldorm 2. So he fell twice to Moldorm 1, and then after he killed Moldorm 2, that was also a very Relkin smug, I guess. Like it was so good. This is why your cameras are absolutely awesome.
Yeah, he almost knocked me off there, Moldorm 2, and I was like, oh, okay, no, not this time.
Oh, it's so good. But you know, so the good news is that, you know, you bitter rivals today, but you guys will be co-oping tomorrow, right?
Bitter rivals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You gotta hype up little things, right, for a head-to-head match. Yeah, best of luck uniting your powers together, you know, versus I would say, you know, the returning champions of League Season 5 tomorrow. So best of luck.
Thank you.
So Relkin, you are also moving on to the next round of brackets for Spoiler Log. You will be facing one Pink Link gem. Any thoughts?
Gem 041 bootless better not be how our race goes.
I know that you guys have faced each other in casual boots in 2020 finals, something like that.
We faced in the Cross Keys tournament a few years ago. We faced in the finals of SGL. That was open boots. And then we did. It was pseudo boots last year at SGL that we faced. I think those are only 3 times. No, we faced in one of the mystery tourneys as well.
Oh, okay. So certainly, you know, not a unfamiliar opponent, but I think this is first time spoiler, right?
Yeah, first time 1v1 spoiler.
Well, certainly best of luck. to both of you, and then I think the winner of that. Yeah, so I think with this, only 4 people are left in the tournament. So it's you, Gem, Andy, and Gamma. So pretty scary set of 4 people.
Top 4 seeds from the qualifiers. I just need to say that.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, well, so okay, so you're saying that after all of these weeks and effort, we could have just ran with the qualifiers and just done group of 4. Okay, gotcha.
Exactly, and I didn't have to die to Moss to prove it. It's perfect.
Yeah, this was definitely a very fun race. Thank you so much, guys, for tracking for racing. Sorry, reading chat and got distracted. But yeah, I mean, again, you guys are amazing runners. I certainly played, very, very well, and best of luck to you guys. Both Relkin for you moving forward, and then tomorrow in co-op 80.
Oh yeah. Yeah, thanks for hosting all of this and the restream, and thanks Clearmouse and Shady for calming. Love it when we have professional commentary.
Hear that? Shady,
so
you're
yeah.
a professional ghost.
Yeah, he's saying it
sharp.
now, but once he listens to the race back, he'll be like, "Well, get this guy off the air."
Yeah, I also want to thank you so much.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, no, go for it.
Yeah, no, just huge thanks and the shout outs to the whole community. It's awesome.
Yep, thanks guys. Glad this got showcased, and we'll look forward to the next one, I guess.
Yeah, put it on the schedule. We'll be watching. Yeah, I also want to thank the big thank you so much to Shasta, who had extremely busy schedule, but was more than gracious in order to try and make basically carve out some time out of his busy time, for us to track. So thank you so much. Also, always did an amazing job. I should basically see everything, keep track of everything. So thank you. Of course, Shady, thank you so much. It was so much fun. Really glad that we were able to do this.
Yeah, this
You're coming out of your own busy schedule as well, so.
Slightly less busy, but still, yeah, this was a lot of fun, and this was a good race to watch as well. This
Oh yeah.
Back and forth and between two of my best buddies in the community, so it was a pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. Much more, looking forward to seeing more of these guys, and of course, yourself. Hopefully, you get a little bit of League commentary. You are also playing in League as well. Are you playing next week at all, or
no,
is that Zelda in?
Damn,
okay.
nah, I'm putting the pros up. We've got to start strong.
Sounds good.
I'm putting two experts up.
All right. Okay. No more Eastern skippers. Just just more spoilers. All right. Yeah. But yeah. Until then, so at least for this tournament, we'll just basically wait for Relkin versus Gem whenever they decide to try and put that on the schedule. Even among their busy schedules. But until then, have a great rest of your day and evening.